So don't let them steal your life.
So guys, this is for the people that watched my live stream before. It's also for the ladies out there, the feminists. I guess that gender is a social construct and everything like this, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. There's some funny things that these fourth wave feminism people don't seem to realize, and they're really pushing hard for these 300 different binaries when I'm a transgender. And you know, there are spectrums, you know, of women, like you know, you might say like the women who are tomboys, and then there's girly girls, and then there's kind of normal girls, and you know, there's girls that like to work on cars, and there's girls that like to shoot guns, and you know, there's girls that like to play with Barbies and girls that like to play with footballs. But you know, pretty much the way I see it, there are girls who like girls, and girls who like boys, girls who like both. In the transgender community, there's girls who want to be girls, and boys that want to be girls, and you know, girls that want to be boys, and you know, pretty much this gender that they're talking about is just women trying to be women. Boys that are wanting to be girls, girls that are wanting to be boys. There's no separate gender there. There's no gender construction. They try to say it's a social construct, but this binary that was set up has been set up since men and animals were around, you know. And even if you're a man and you feel like a woman, that just means you want to be a woman. Doesn't mean you're any other binary. But there's all these wonderful feminists, white knight, mangina simps out there now who want to think they're special snowflakes, and you've got to think about my feelings, and you can't judge me, and if you want to talk to me, you have to first acknowledge my binary and what I'm going by and my pronouns, and you have to give me respect even though I'm an asshole and a bitch and I act like a total douchebag, you know, because this is something kids in our new culture of everybody gets a trophy for just showing up. That's, you know, kids nowadays have grown up to think that, well, first of all, nobody's really that special, you know, in the grand scheme of things. But these people, these new age feminist simp white knights, they're not really special at all. You know, they're all special little snowflake unicorns on the internet, they think. They got their own little opinions that they really know very little about. So they think it's alright to make everybody else feel like they're the assholes, you know. And the funny thing that I want to point out is, if gender is a social construct, and once this fourth wave feminism starts working and they get all this gender binary bullshit passed through legislation, which is obviously what they want to do, well, then how are you going to say that men are an elite class? Because this is something that a lot of these feminists don't seem to realize, that you're basically saying that the concept of a man and the concept of a woman doesn't exist.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological. Just got to stay in a positive frame of mind.
So therefore, if the concept of a man and a woman is socially constructed and doesn't exist, then fourth wave feminism has nothing more to fight about. Because once you get the construction gone and everybody is just people, and we all have our own little special unicorn snowflake names like Z and Zer and all these other stupid fucking constructs besides male and female and trans and bi and all these things. When we get past all of that, then there's nothing more to fight about. Because how can a man be a patriarchy and rule over women when the construction of women and the social construction of a man is gone? There is no such thing. Therefore, what do you have left to fight about once you get to that point? There is no more patriarchy if there is no more men, if there is no more women, if there is no more of this, then there is no more of society. Society will fall like this. So this is something that a lot of feminists have a hard time with, is the ability to see logic. And it's something that feminists have always had a hard time with, is logic. They can't see how talking about how men on the internet shouldn't have a safe space, men in colleges shouldn't have a place where they can talk about men's issues, saying that women should not be harassed on Twitter and other places because they should have the right to say things like kill all men. And espouse hate for men. But then if a man does the same thing about a woman, that can't be allowed. And they don't see the irony there. They don't see the hypocrisy, because men are awesome. You know, men have everything. So we can go ahead and treat them like shit because men have all the power and women don't. So women have the right, they feel, to take all the rights of men because they think, even though it's not true, that they already have those now. So if we just take all that shit from the men, then we're all right, you know? And they don't seem to realize where that's hypocritical. You can't do that. You can't take someone's rights and not allow somebody to have free speech and tell other people what is expected of them. You can't tell them what they can and can't say, what they can and can't be attracted to, what they can and can't feel is funny. This is things that feminists seem to want to do. They think they have the right to tell people, you can't be attracted to that. You can't be attracted to this. You know? It's really hilarious that women can't see the hypocrisy when they say these things like you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then they go right after that and say, you can't say this stuff to me, but I can take your rights away. You can't talk to me on the internet. You can't say anything. If I say something that's really stupid, that doesn't really have anything backing it up, well, you can't say that to me. You can't say that what I'm saying is wrong. You can only say, get off the internet. You can't talk to me. So I'm able to talk to the police. I'm able to have you taken off the internet in some cases. And I'm able to take all of your rights because you're infringing on my rights to say kill all men. And how can you not see the hypocrisy here? You know, how can these people not see this? But the funniest thing that this fourth wave feminism is not seeing is that if gender is a social construct and they're fighting because men are the patriarchy, well, gender is a social construct, therefore there is no men and there is no women. We're all trans. We're all special little snowflakes with our own little gender binary that we go by, our own little acronym that we call ourselves. And to that end, there's nothing left to fight for in feminism. So then where do you go? Because you know they won't stop fighting. We got manspreading, mansplaining, all these stupid things that they've come up with, you know. Now they want to govern the internet because men have a place where they can talk. If a man's group tries to assemble on a college so that men can talk about men's issues, well, that's not allowed. You know, women don't allow that. But if we say, when women say they want a place to talk about women's issues, and we say, hey, you can't do that, well, then they get all up in arms about that. Can't tell a woman that. You can't tell a woman she can't have her place, but you can tell a man that because they're part of the patriarchy. So it's perfectly fine. And that's not hypocritical at all. You know? It's freaking hilarious.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological.
If you guys got anything you want to talk about, or anything you want me to talk about, or any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. And hope you share, like, and subscribe, and all that wonderful stuff, and yada yada yada.
So don't let them steal your life.